So I want to cover a couple things today because here's the thing. We know today the Fed is going to announce cut in rate. Um, Definitely a quarter, potentially 50 bips. Just so you all know, that's not a direct correlation to mortgage rates. So mortgage rates tend to follow that. And most of the cut is already baked into the rates that you're seeing today. So you should have seen a fall in rates of about a point over the past month. And for agents, like when these rates drop, and Michelle, you just touched on it a little bit, there's two things that are going to happen, right? So customers are going to want to either refinance and better their position, or they're going to want to list their house because they got to move. There are a ton of people that are ready to move, but they're white knuckling that low interest rate and they don't want to let go. But with the rates coming close to that rate that they have, they could potentially make a move. And you need to be standing in front of them. So I would ask you, who here has a system that you don't have to put any effort into that's standing in front of your past database? Like you can throw it in the chat, raise your hand, unmute. Like, are you standing in front of your past database or do you need help? And if you need help, we have a free solution. Now, free always scares me because there's really nothing free, right? Like I think I was in junior high when they put the acronym up, it said TANSTAFL. And I'm like, what does that mean? It said, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. So if somebody says it's free, somewhere along the line, somebody's paying for it. But with this home IQ that I use, I have to pay 15 cents for every lead you load into it, but it's free for the realtors. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. Now, I've used something called HomeBot since 2017. If you send out an email campaign to your past client database, what do you think the open rate is on that? Is anybody doing that? What are your results? Like what percent? You can throw it in a chat or on mute, either way.
I think I get about 40% open.
Wow.
I send it weekly.
Wow.
Weekly.
That's impressive. Good. That's really good. The typical answer is like 5% or less, right? Emails
it's
just
all
don't
people I know, like literally
like
know on a personal level.
That's so good. That's actually impressive. But this home bot that I was using was getting on average a 55% or greater open rate, right? I just switched to Home IQ because it was more affordable and had way more intelligence, way more predictive analytics, and was less expensive. I was paying like $1,300 a month for HomeBot, and this is $475. So I'm going to show this to you guys. I'm going to send you a video. If you want it afterwards, just let me know, a breakdown of what it does for realtors. But I'm going to give you the high level of what it does here on my end. And I'm going to try to limit what I'm showing you as far as information, even though it's public information. Corey, can I get a screen share? Even though it's public information, I don't want to expose everybody's stuff.
You should be good.
Okay. So can everybody see my home bot or my home IQ?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I click here, you'll see over the past month, we sent out 2,767 reports. 65% of those got opened, right?
Wow.
That's crazy numbers. It's crazy good. And I'm going to show you why it's so good here in a minute. And then 29% of them went into their actual reports, right? And so right here, this pre-mover score, 97% chance that this person wants to move. And this is using predictive analytics for that, right? Like how long have they been in the house? What's their equity? I think it even goes as far as like what they're searching for on the web. Like it's pretty invasive of what they do. And then here it's like how many reports have been sent to them? 4 reports have been sent. This person hasn't opened any. They haven't viewed any, and they haven't engaged in any. But the next person down, I sent 3. She opened all 3. She viewed the report 5 times, and she engaged once, right? So this is your past database that you can stand in front of for free. Now, I want to show you this piece, right? So this is my mother's house. I was going to play it safe. So this is the report that your clients will get. And so it shows her, hey, you have $82,000 worth of equity in your home, right? We estimate your home to be worth 145.4. And if she wanted to, she could click this view home calculator and she can adjust it, right? She could say my living area is higher, I got more or less bedrooms or bathrooms, and my condition is excellent. Like I just totally upgraded it, right? So it gives them that feature to be able, and then they can adjust it themselves, right? They can go in and adjust it themselves because it's not perfect, but I will tell you it's pretty accurate. It uses a number of AVMs, algorithms, automated valuation models. So I think it uses CoreLogic, Black Knight, and a couple others, and then it averages all of them with all the data points that it has. And then this is the part that really works well for us as loan officers. Cash she may be able to pull out of it. So she could pull 52 grand. How's that calculated? Well, that's 80% of the appraised value minus her current first mortgage. That's how much she could pull out, right? So it shows them what are their options. She could sell her home. Like if she sold her home, how much money could she make, right? It puts in there the sales price, paying off her first mortgage, estimated closing cost, then how much she can make, right? Right at their fingertips. Now, the beauty of this is it does what? If they're looking at it here, where are they not looking at it?
Zillow.
Right. They're not looking at it at Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, where they're getting drilled by other agents. So it helps you geofence your past database and stay in front of them as the advisor, as the expert. If she wanted to get a line of credit, like what could she get a line of credit for? So it just helps them stay educated on what they can do with their mortgage. Then it shows them this is how much you've paid towards your principal and interest. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, it could say, look, if you applied an extra $250 a month, you could save 10 grand in interest and pay your house off 8 years sooner. And that's a sliding rule. So she could go up here and it'll update and go, look, you could pay it off 12 years sooner. And then it shows the interest that they'll be paying. Now, here's what's big. So the first time I turned HomeBot on was when you guys got shut down in 2020. When you guys got shut down as realtors, I was like, oh crap, like where does our business go? Because the majority of our business is purchase. And with that said, I know when rates went up, you guys got hammered by loan officers because loan officers weren't doing any refinance. And it's like when they start hammering, and I made a meme about it. I said, all the agents, you haven't heard from loan officers for the past 2 years because they're too busy on refinances to care about you. And so your phone's going to start blowing up. You're going to be caffeinated out, too much. Everyone's going to ask you to go to coffee. They're going to want your business because they're not going to have any refis to work with. That's going to happen again because when these rates drop, people are already looking at rate and term refis, cash out refis. We're getting those calls. I'm not leaving you. Like I'm staying right here with you guys because you guys are the partners that I've been working with. You guys are the partners that have kept us alive. And I'm going to stay right here, help you guys navigate this and help you guys do more business. But this shows if she was to refinance for a 15 year, she would lose money because her current rate, I think, is like 3%. And if she did a 30 year, she would lose money. But if you have a client that closed in the past couple of years and they're in the sevens, like I just pulled up my list of people that can refinance. I got people that can save $700 a month right now. Right. So I just sent out some emails this morning going, look, it's time to take a look at refinancing and saving you money. And here's the thing. The way we have to look at this refinance market is it's a 2-tiered system. So right now, if you have savings, like pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered. Like if you can save $600 a month, save it. If rates drop even further, well, then we look at, does it make sense to drop it again? This may be the lowest rates go. Nobody has a crystal ball. But if you don't take it now and save that 700 now and they go back up, you just lost that savings. So we got to look at it in 2 phases. So this is the first phase. This is the other part I really like because we teach a lot of first-time home buyers about house hacking, right? I wish somebody could have taught me this at 21. I would do this day one, 21. I would buy a duplex, triplex, or quad, put 5% down, move into one of the units, live there for at least a year, move out, rent it out, buy a single family home, put minimum down, rinse and repeat 5 or 6 times. By the time I'm 35, I got over $1 million worth of rentals and I only put maximum 5% down on all of them. And I got cash flow coming in on all of them. So this is what we're talking to about first-time home buyers, like strategically, let's look at, if you want to get in the rental game, how do you get in there with the least amount of money out of pocket and maximize your returns? So for my mom, if she wanted the long-term rental this thing, it's showing her market is somewhere between 1660 and 2260. If she wanted to Airbnb it a few nights a month, like that's the average daily rate. So it's given people options of what they can do with their home. This is the other bonus, right? So if your past client's getting this, if they wanted to trade up for another home, what could they get? If they wanted to buy an investment property, what could they get? If they wanted to purchase a second home at Myrtle Beach or Florida or wherever, what can they get? So it's given them great information. And it's not just like, when I was sending out cooking recipes, my buddies are hammering me. They're like, dude, I know you don't cook. I know you don't cook. Like, why are you sending me this stuff? But when I started sending these out, they're going, okay, you finally sending me something that makes sense. Right. So it's being a good debt advisor, being the expert in the industry and being in front of them. And then they can change this piece up too. Like, what is their credit? Is it good, fair, whatever? And then it'll take that into consideration as well. Any questions on that piece of it?
Hey, Jeff,
Yeah.
I actually got one of these reports from you.
Yeah.
I guess about a month ago. I just found it because I was looking in my emails, and when I opened it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! I have to ask them if there's a way I can send this to my people." I had no idea that this was what you were talking about today, but yeah, it's like I'm like so blown away with the information that's on here about my house. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. If you want it, just email me and say, Jeff, turn me on the Home IQ, and then we'll upload your database. And what made me think of this, like when I turned this on probably 6 months ago, I wasn't thinking about it at all. And then I had a realtor who I had on HomeBot, the old system, which was shut down. They go, hey, did you shut down HomeBot? I'm like, oh, crap. I forgot to tell you, like I shut that down. I said, but here's the thing. I'm using something better. And then they hooked into this. And then they also discovered, and I don't know this feature, but if you load up your past clients, and I don't know how this works, it's creepy as all get out. If they walk into an open house, you will get an alert. So that's another feature that Home IQ has for you as a realtor if you want to use it. So if you're interested in getting signed up, it's free for you. Like, you don't have to pay anything. Just email me and say, hey, Jeff, get me connected to Home IQ. Then you can load up your database in there and you're good to go. The other part is social media wise, they have, let me see if it's here. Yeah, social media wise, I think Corey Ward actually found us on our team. Like, they have flyers done for you, and they have social media posts where you literally just click it and post it to social media. They have everything done for you with all you got to do is upload your photo and your information. And then when somebody here, I actually recorded a video for you guys. Let me give you another screen share. He'll say it better than I will.
Yeah, I think once you're signed up, it's even branded to you too on those things. So
With their logo and their everything else, right, Corey?
Yep.
Yeah.
Into this thing as well, there's a couple other features. We'll just get into the homeowners and banners here. So you have a bunch of social media banners that you can just one click share these directly onto Facebook from here. A little window is going to pop up. You can type in a quick caption, and that image is hyperlinked to either one of these lead capture pages. So you can either drive one to this one or this one. But you have these website links here, and you can drive traffic to these things if you want to boost it. Really good use of $20 or $30 is post this thing, boost it in Facebook. You can put it in, run it for 24 hours, spend $30. And you're probably going to put this thing in front of 3,000 or so people. You're going to get a few clicks. And the cool thing about this thing is that if somebody clicks on one of these lead capture pages and they type in their home address, we're going to capture a bunch of information on this individual and deploy the predictive analytics on that person. So you're going to identify potential seller who is curious about the value of their home and maybe interested in this report, but also being able to see that this is a statistical likelihood. Maybe this person is like 91% probability of selling. Well, you can put a little extra effort in. Maybe you can go knock on their door, whatever it might be. But this is somebody that you could absolutely interact with because we've done all the heavy lifting prior. We already know that this person is a likely candidate to sell. Now their actions of wanting to see this thing, that's all systems go. So that's the Home IQ system. Everything's here for you.
Yeah, it's already done for you, social media, and you post that out. And if somebody signs up, you're just building your database up. and, you know, again, protecting them from Zillow and all the other realtors that are capturing your information. I think they said the average person gets caught up into like, I think it was like 7 different databases that are coming after your data, right? So it just protects your past clients and helps you stay in front. Any questions on that piece of it? Okay. The next thing I want to go ahead. The next thing I want to share is well, I want to ask a question first. How is the buyer agency consultations going after the NAR settlement went into effect? Like, are you guys having more powerful conversations? Are you having people that don't want to pay your commission? Are you good with it? Are you struggling? Like, are you having a hard time getting people to sign the commission? Are you nervous? Do you not have your value added proposition down? Like, what are your thoughts?
So Jeff, this is Cindy. How you doing?
Good.
I haven't had any problems explaining it, them paying it. I actually had 2 clients where I told him it was 3% and the seller was only paying 2.5% and didn't want to pay more, and they agreed to pay the other 0.5% at the closing. So I haven't had a whole lot of issues at this
I
point.
love that. And here's the thing, Cindy, I know some agents that actually bumped up on what they're getting paid, right? Like some people went aggressive into it and they're winning. The other part is like it's sad, but I've talked to some phenomenal agents that are like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I think I might be getting out of the industry because they're not having those conversations up front. So, I would say we know this, there's going to be a cleansing. There's going to be a wiping, probably they're estimating 30 to 40% of the agents are not going to make it. Right. But Cindy, if you're performing like you're performing right now, there's just going to be more for you and more people that you can help. So with that said, I wanted to share what we do for clients up front so that they understand how to pay you guys and that it's not a big deal. Right. So when they see those numbers, so when you tell us, yep. So when you tell us, hey, Jeff, I'm getting paid 3% on this one. But Cindy, to your point, listen, if the seller's paying 2.5, I'm only going to charge 0.5, right? We can put this together for your clients before they even decide on a loan program. So let me give you a share here and show you what this looks like. Can you see where it says hi buyer agent?
Yes.
Okay. So what we did is we did a $250,000 purchase price. And the first option is increase the loan amount. This only works if they're not doing maximum financing, right? This column can only work if they're not doing maximum financing. So if you have a VA, a veteran who's putting 0 down, this column is not an option. If you have an FHA buyer only putting 3.5% down, not an option. But in this scenario, I just use somebody putting 10% down. So on a $250,000 house, instead of them putting 10% down, I had them put 7% down. Okay. We're having them finance your buyer agency commission. The rate is 6%. Their payment is $1,877. They need to bring $39,100 to close. Now, if we increase the purchase price by the 3%, we change that $250 to $257.5. And then we keep that same 10% down payment. The rate's the same. Then when you look at the payment difference, it's $1,872 versus $1,877. It's $5 a month. It's $4.68. Not a big deal. They're bringing $39.9 instead of $39.1, right? It's about the same for those two options. The third one is the buyer pays it. So the buyer just says flat out, I'll pay you your buyer agency commission straight out of my pocket. So the purchase price is $250. They're still putting that 10% down. Rate stays the same. That payment is $1,830, which is $46 less than the original option. But the trade-off is they're bringing that $7,500 out of pocket versus either rolling it into the purchase price or the loan. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the last one is the seller pays it like we have always seen, right? So you just have your 10% down, the seller pays it, that payment's $1,830, same payment, and they're bringing $39.1 instead of that $46.6 because the $7,500 is coming off the seller side. So when you look at these differences in payments, it's not a big deal. right? Depending on the customer, if we're setting that right expectation up front. So there's no reason that you shouldn't be out there asking for your 3 or 3.5% to get paid for what you do. And from my seat, I always explain to them, like, if you don't use an agent, you're literally stepping over dollars to pick up pennies, because you're going to get burned on a reply to inspection. You're going to get burned on the negotiations on the purchase price. You're going to get burned on something along the way when you should have an elite agent representing you and saving you that money and knowing if it's a good purchase or not. Listen, I went and looked at a property not long ago with an elite agent who gave me great advice. And I saw other agents there who I wouldn't call elite, and they had their customers calling me to put offers on something they shouldn't have been put offering. And I'm like, well, that's the difference between having an elite agent that knows what's up and somebody who doesn't. And so just know that there's not a big deal. Now, the one column you don't see on here, which will be an option once these rates drop, is for them to take a higher interest rate. So right now, does everyone know what SRPs are? Does everyone know what like service release premiums are? Has
No.
anybody showed you a rate sheet? Have you guys ever seen a rate sheet from a lender?
Yeah.
You have seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. With the SRPs on it, Karen?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Let me show you this. So right now, what you're not going to see is the SRPs being able to pay for the buyer agency commission, because it's been gone for about 2.5 years now, but with these rates dropping, SRP should come back. And you'll be able to see somebody with an option to be able to take a higher interest rate and pay for your commissions. Let me just put this in here real quick. And I'll give you a screen share here so you guys can see it. Let me know if you can see my pricing engine. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see all these fields, like all these fields matter on the rate. So when you have somebody that's like, oh, we all have the same rate, or like everybody's priced the same, that's not true. Like a lot of this stuff depends on their situation.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So why are we out? What am I missing? First time home buyer affordability. Oh. Okay. So can you guys see this rate sheet? Okay. So the bottom of the rate sheet is 5.5. Now, if this customer wanted 5.5 today, they would have to pay $4,375 to get that rate. That's called paying points. Okay. If they did not want to pay points, they would take the 6% because they don't have to pay anything for it. That's called the par rate. Okay. Now, if they wanted to pay your commission, they could take 7.625, or they could get a $5,400 rebate back. So these are the options that we walk our customers through. Now, I will tell you, most lenders will just go, hey, our rate today is 6%, and never walk them through. And you guys have seen my videos to your buyers up front going, hey, you could take the 5.5, which is the lowest rate on a rate sheet, and pay $4,300. You could take 6, or you could take 7. Like, which one do you want? And I'll walk them through what their options are. My financial planner was buying a $630,000 house in Florida. He bought it all the way down to 5.5 because he knows how long he's staying in the house and it made sense for him. I had another person who was financially savvy who's like, Jeff, give me the highest rate. I'm not paying points now because I know the market's going to drop. I'll refinance later. Let me get the rebate now. I'll buy down the rate later. That's their choice. It just depends on their education level. And I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just going to educate them and let them decide. Any questions on this rate sheet and how this works?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys here is this. Okay. So if you want to, all the information that you need from us, you could scan this QR code. So right now we are working on building out a website, and it's just going to be jefflagoni.com. This is a landing page that we have now with everything that you need on it. And, you know, the first thing is the growth zone. So if you want to hop on here, or you have any other friends or colleagues that want to attend these, all they have to do is put their email in here, and then they'll get signed up to receive the reminders. We do residential financing. That's what we're talking about here today. We also do commercial financing, right? So we've worked on like a 50-acre raw land deal. We're working on a $48 million apartment complex right now. We've had some commercial rehab loans. So like anything commercial, we can help you with as well. And if I can't do it, like I'll give it to somebody that can. Creative financing, like this is for people that don't qualify right now, but may be able to go what's called sub 2, which is like rent to own, lease to own, that type of stuff. And then people have been asking me to coach them. And, you know, I've been doing it for free forever. And people are like, nah, I feel bad that you're doing it for free, so I want to pay you. I'm not putting a fee out there. I'm putting something out there that says, look, pay what you think it's worth. And that's fine. What I don't want to have happen is a 19-year-old ask to meet with me and say, I don't have the $20 to meet. And then I can't change that person's life. Like if they say they can't afford it, like I'll still meet with them. So I'm literally putting out, if it's a loan officer, they're going to pay like $1,000 an hour. Cause like, I'm not training my competition how to beat me, but I will train them up because I still want to help them. And then the growth zone's there. And then just know, this is something I wanted to share with you guys. Our hearts are about giving back to the community. And, you know, Abigail put this together, who's our social media person. And she's like, you constantly give. And I couldn't even list all the things. I think her and Corey got together and they're like, okay, these are all the things we donated to, I think just within the past year. And so and we talk about shopping local all the time. When you shop with somebody who's local, it's like 69 cents on the dollar stays in the local community because of things like this, giving back to your local community. When you shop with a national chain, it's like 43 cents on the dollar that stays. So for me, I will always shop local and an independent business owner versus a national chain, just because I know it's going to help my community grow financially. And then when I ran my numbers from 2007 to 2016, I was rolling solo. But then after 2016 to today, we've always had a team, but we've helped over 3,400 families. I was shocked by the number when I did the research on how many loans we've done, and it's over $600 million in volume. And then I don't even know how many Google reviews we got out there at 5.0. So just know that, you know, we're giving back to the local community. Working with us is worth it. And then the last thing is giving information. And Karen had a customer this weekend that they're moving in from LA. And he was like, Jeff, what's it look like over a 10-year period for me if I buy this house? So we're also going to educate your customers on what's that look like. And, you know, we used the forecasted appreciation rate of 3.14% on this property to show what are they going to gain by owning this property. Like what's the appreciation is going to be 96,000. Their cash flow difference between renting and buying is 147,000. They're going to pay down their mortgage by 38,000. And just know that their cash flow, this is what their investment's going to look like after 9 years, just to help people make a better decision and understand why buying real estate's the right answer. It's not always the right answer. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. And then we'll show them that as well. And I think I did it in 30 minutes. So you guys can have it today. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here, because I know when you're not working on your business or, you know, in your business, this takes time away from it, but hopefully you picked up something today that helps you grow in this next season. There's going to be a huge opportunity for all of us with these rates dropping. And I just want to see everybody win and take advantage of it. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Or what questions do you have for me? We good?
Thank you so much, Jeff.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If you got, like I said, if you guys want Home IQ, just send me an email. We'll get you guys connected and get you hooked in.
Thank you, Jeff. This was great.
You
Thank
got
you,
it.
Jeff.
You're welcome.